first question I asked in my questionnaire was the general age of my audience. As you see here, the most common age was 14 to 16. With this, I realised that the age group that I aimed my magazine at was correct, and that means I could continue aiming my magazine towards that specific audience. The next question I asked was a question about gender. This was important as my magazine would be aimed towards a more specific audience and gender compared to other magazines. As you see from the answers to this, that most of my audience was male. My next question was, have you ever bought a magazine? This would be important as I can get a rough number and rough estimate of how many people actually read and buy magazines. As you see from my answers, almost everyone that I asked, excluding one, has bought a magazine in the past. The next question I asked was about the genre of magazine that people read. I picked the 8 most popular genres of magazine and see which people read which genre the most. As you see here, music tied with gaming at second, while sport was first. Moving on now to questions about my pitch. The first question I asked about my pitch was the idea for my double page spread and was it good enough. From the answers I saw here, most people thought it was okay, which means that I'll probably have to go back and look at my double page spread idea and maybe make a few tweaks and a few changes. The next question was talking about my masthead. It was a bit difficult as the name I put in the questionnaire was different to the name I actually had in the presentation. The reason I changed it in the presentation is because I realised that the name was a bit too long to be in a magazine. The most popular idea I had though was collateral damage, and weirdly enough that was a name that I changed. But I did change it to collateral, which people did agree with, saying that it was a better name and probably would have gone for that if I did put it there. My next question was about the colour scheme I picked for my magazine. I put it on a scale and the most popular one was 4, so people thought it was a good idea but not exactly fantastic. I also got one person saying it was around a 2, which means that they probably had the idea that it wasn't a great idea at all, meaning that I probably could rethink my colour scheme and maybe make a few changes to it to make it better. I then asked a general question about what kind of content my magazine is missing. For the most part, people said there wasn't anything major missing, but I did get one person saying that I need some sort of way to grab the reader's attention on my double page spread, which is something I can look into and possibly change. And the final question I asked was about my main cover image, and was the idea that I made and the plan that I made suitable for it. For the most part, 90% of people said that yes, it was a good idea, but one person did say no, and it's probably a good idea to try and find out who said that and get some ideas as what I could make better.